What's going on, guys? VigVP back with another Gamecase Arcades video. On this one today, part 2 of 3 on this little mini series talking about my journey, my experience, my thoughts when it comes to doing a total teardown on pinball machines. This one today, we're talking about Stern's RollerCoaster Tycoon. Be a tycoon! Let's take a look. All right, you know the drill. If you're not following me on all the socials, what are you waiting for? Be sure to follow me at Vic_VP. Check out all the socials, the Linktree link down below. I know I'm a broken record, but it is what it is. TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, the shorts. Check out the behind the scenes stuff. You see it before it airs. The full video versus the shorts. It's pretty cool. Again, what are you waiting for? Be sure to go follow. Go click that Linktree link down below. Also, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you think of my total teardown journey with Stern's RollerCoaster Tycoon. What are you waiting for? Go follow. You would have seen me getting this machine, dragging it over, I don't know, almost a mile long of grass in Jersey. Go follow. Go now. Today is specifically like content day for me. I want to film these videos for these machines. I've been dilly-dallying. I just did the Royal Rumble video. Go back and check that out. That machine is 6 months old. Where has time gone? 6 months and now I'm making the video on it. Yes, I just want to make my video. So I am going to be wearing the same shirt. Today is specifically designed to make content for these 3 pinball machines. I'll probably go live to play some gaming. Go check out my live streams. What are you waiting for? Yes, I feel like I'm gonna be a little bit repetitive because I'm shooting this all on the same day, but it is what it is. I'm just trying to tell you guys my little journey when it comes to tearing down, conversions, LEDs, new rubbers, fixing some stuff, some mechs, some boards. I don't know, some people like to hear it. Me personally, I'm making this so I would have, known a couple of things and expected a couple of things when it came to doing some teardowns. So yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying the videos. Shout out to all the new subscribers and all that. I see all the comments. Thank you guys for the views and all that. But enough dilly-dallying. Let's get into it. Let's talk about my first Stern machine. Yes, RollerCoaster Tycoon. What? RollerCoaster Tycoon is an iconic game. I'm not talking about the pinball machine. I'm talking about childhood memories, loading up. I think it was on like Windows XP or even possibly like Windows 2000, not 98. I don't think it was Windows 98. I gotta find out the exact date of this, but I remember popping in that CD. You hear like the theme music and the carnival aspect, and you just had the freedom of building your own theme park and building your own roller coasters. I remember making roller coasters just like forever long throughout the entire park. And then obviously there's that iconic roller coaster. I forgot the name of it, but everybody definitely had it and everybody changed the speed of it. It was a very simple roller coaster where it just launched and it did a loop and then up into like the abyss. But the objective was for it to come back down in reverse. And obviously I'm sure I'm not the only one where people bumped up the speed and just watched it go off the rails. Yes, I'm not alone in that, right? You guys let me know if you did that too. But what an iconic game. I remember spending hours. You're talking like, I would probably say it was like middle school. I gotta find out the exact date that this came out, but middle school to probably high school. This game right here, 2002, at least for the pinball machine of it, I was 12, so definitely middle school. Yeah, it's fond memories. So when I discovered that Stern made a RollerCoaster Tycoon pinball machine, I had to have it. I avoided playing it on the V-Pin because I said to myself, I was like, this is gonna be a machine that I don't really want to experience on a virtual side of things. I'm gonna have to experience it in real life. And what do you know, I now own a real RollerCoaster Tycoon. All right, I had to look it up because it's gonna drive me crazy. RollerCoaster Tycoon originally released March 22, 1999. was 9 years old when RollerCoaster Tycoon came out. Wow, I feel old now. But man, what an iconic game. Again, growing up, so you're looking at Windows 98 to maybe Windows 2000. Yeah. Amazing. It's just a journey. Like I said, once you see that iconic logo, oh man, if you were a 90s kid like me or even older, everybody enjoyed RollerCoaster Tycoon. But yes, once I discovered that there was a pinball machine of it, I avoided playing it on the V pin. I mean, granted, I probably played like 1 or 2 games on the virtual pin, but then I think seeing the concept of like the roller coaster, this actual rocket up and then it crosses the playfield, I was like, yeah, I think I need to experience this. From my knowledge, again, big shout out to Dave Souza. This right here is a White Star setup system from Stern. A couple of games with this. I believe also Sopranos would fall into this category of systems. I could be wrong. Don't flame me in the comments. But as far as the little journey of obtaining this machine, definitely be sure to check out that video where I scored 2 pinball machines for $3,000. Yes, I had to go, went out to Jersey, had a little bit of a trek. I did have to walk across a lot of grass. I have a whole story. You go check out the video. I'll obviously post it here. What a journey, but yes, what a score. 2 machines, Earthshaker and RollerCoaster Tycoon for $3,000. It's a no-brainer. It's a major score. And it's RollerCoaster Tycoon. Not to mention, I don't know how long the owners had it. I'll go into the history of it. It's an immaculate condition cabinet. Like the side art is perfect. No dings, no scratches on it. Beautiful. I'll give you a quick overview on the background on this. Unfortunately, I didn't actually meet the seller. The person posted this on Facebook. I have a story on it. Long story short, the person originally posted a picture of Earthshaker. And I was, browsing around on the internet and I click on it. First picture was just of Earthshaker. Swipe over to the next one, and there it is, RollerCoaster Tycoon in the background. This guy had it, what I thought was like in a kid's like sports facility. No, the guy had like an indoor basketball court. And those 2 machines were there. I sent him a message. I said, hey, I know you're looking to sell Earthshaker, but if you're looking to sell RollerCoaster Tycoon, I would take both off your hands for $3,000. And he said, yeah, sure. And Aruga, I went and I was ecstatic. So that's a little history of it. I unfortunately didn't get to meet the seller. I believe it was a younger gentleman. I think it was at work that day. So I had no help to take this out. I did know I had to cross some grass. I didn't realize how much grass. So again, you'll see the original video. I talk about the trek of getting this. But the woman that was there, the mom, she explained to me Earthshaker didn't work, but RollerCoaster Tycoon worked. And I was the type that the price I said, I don't even have to power it on. I'm just gonna load it up in the truck. I'm not gonna waste any time. Again, at that price, I'm not gonna negotiate and haggle. It's a steal already. So before they changed their mind, I quickly pulled this into the truck, bought it home, got the kiddo in the garage, and we loaded up some RollerCoaster Tycoon. Just ecstatic. Anytime I bring home a cabinet, I like to see like my daughter's face. She's like, what? Like, what did you get? We get all excited together. So yes, she saw that. We played a couple of games, and now we're at this point here where I basically started discovering I couldn't start a mode. I did have a bad obstacle board. So again, stay tuned. We're gonna be talking about the whole teardown process and a couple of things as far as swapping out boards and a couple of issues I had. Now, luckily I knew what I was getting myself into because I did experience a total teardown of Royal Rumble. I got Royal Rumble working, and just like now, I'm back to it where I'm looking for more pinball machines and more games. Hence now RollerCoaster Tycoon and Earthshaker comes into the picture. Again, anytime, anybody that's looking to get a machine, especially dated machines, even newer machines, if you're gonna get a newer one, like a newer Stern, I would probably say expect yourself to do a total teardown. I don't know how people maintain their machines. I'm kind of a neat, I don't want to say the word neat freak, but seeing how much I spent on this machine, it's like, okay, every Sunday it's cleaning day for the machines. Take off the glass. I clean play fields with microfiber cloth. Every other week now, I'll do naphtha on the rubbers. I'll do my routine, but every Sunday, I'm at least cleaning the play field because especially dated machines like this, you know, the ball streaks and you can actually see actual lines from the ball going down like the lanes. It builds up. And yeah, I know how much I spent, especially on Godfather and Toy Story. I know how much I spent. So I'm the type where I want to make sure I keep my machines nice, clean, and beautiful. Other people though, they don't even know that the glass comes off the machine. So yes, off the bat, I already knew I needed to do a total teardown. I already knew I needed LEDs throughout, and definitely I had to swap out that orange DMD and put in a pin 2 DMD. So again, started with the basics, like I mentioned with Royal Rumble. Take your pictures. I took a bunch of pictures. This one here, there's a lot going on. So I definitely took more pictures than Royal Rumble. And I did the same setup. I had a 6-foot table next to me. And as I slowly take apart, you know, slingshot plastics, I would put the plastic in the same exact spot on the table next to me with the nuts and the washers, just to make sure I get it all back in one piece. Again, once I got everything torn down, now you can go into the whole process of counting rubbers. Not even before that, actually. Before you actually start taking stuff apart, I go through the process of, okay, I'm looking at the play field. I do like to do colorized rubbers. I don't like just white and black. I like to put colors to like their surroundings. So I'll shoot some B-roll. You'll see like the scrambled eggs here on the left. It's very yellow and orange. So luckily the flipper is yellow, but I put an orange rubber on the flipper. Same thing when it comes to LEDs. So I do like to colorize things. I don't really consider it as rainbow vomit like people post on Pinside, but I do like to, you know, colorize the rubbers. It adds color to it. Why not? Now, like I mentioned with Royal Rumble, there's manuals to this. So there is a manual for this. It does tell you what bulb type and what size, quantity. Same thing with the rubbers. Now, unfortunately, and I'm not the only one in this boat, but Stern's manual, as far as the rubbers, a couple of the rubbers are miswritten. What do you want to write? What do you want to say there? They're mistyped. Sizes are mistyped. There's a couple of like these tiny posts that really get this very small circle rubber. Unfortunately, it was miswritten and the rubber doesn't fit because the one I ordered was bigger than what it's supposed to be. So that was hell. Thank you, Stern, for the mistype on that. But again, it's your basics. You did the rubbers, took everything apart. This one was not too bad. I didn't take apart like the actual silver rocket here, but I did take off the wire forms. Now, the wire forms on this, these are like painted. They're not chrome like the Royal Rumble. So I didn't really go into like using metal polish because I didn't want the paint to come off. But I did basic Novus 1 and a Mr. Clean Magic Eraser. There you go, that's the word. That was like the cleaning of the playfield along with the wire forms here. Now, as far as the actual ramps, there's really 1, 2, 2.5 ramps. There's one big one, this plastic one. If you wanted to take off this ramp entirely, you would have to be cutting zip ties where the wires are going. So I did kind of go the lazy route, and I basically I had the ramp removed, but it was still connected via wires, but I was still able to pull off flame polishing on these plastic ramps. So same thing, just like Royal Rumble, I did my whole waxing of the playfield, deep cleaning of the playfield. I did the flame polishing on the plastic ramps. And as far as the wire forms, I basically just did Novus 1 with a magic eraser. Awesome stuff. It is your tedious task. Again, just like Royal Rumble, when I tore down the playfield, I waxed it about 3 or 4 times. I went, cleaned it, waxed it, let it sit. Then you have to take off the dry residue of the wax. So I went with a microfiber cloth. Basically gives you another opportunity to clean again. And then re-waxed and such. Again, like Royal Rumble, like I mentioned, in this whole process of waxing the playfield, I'm also putting on new rubbers and also swapping out to these new colored LEDs. Now, same thing, just like Royal Rumble, I ordered rubbers. Sad to discover that there was a misprint on the manual. So I had to basically wind up ordering rubbers again, just like what I do with Royal Rumble. And coincidentally, same thing happened when I was ordering LEDs. Again, Titan rubbers and Comet LEDs. I mentioned in the Royal Rumble video, I'll mention it real quick here. If you are ordering from companies, any company, just take the second and count. Make sure you get everything. Same thing with the LEDs that happened in this situation. Coincidentally, I ordered rubbers and LEDs for RollerCoaster Tycoon and Earthshaker, obviously to save time and money. I had to order again because I was either shorted or I miscounted LEDs and stuff. So just like Royal Rumble, I had to basically place 2 orders. I don't want to say the word order extra because then you would wind up ordering extra of every bulb and now you're gonna have an extra set. Whole different thing. Like I mentioned with Royal Rumble, you could find rubber, like people have like these pre-made rubber sets and even LED sets, conversion sets. I wouldn't suggest doing that. Take the time. Like I said, I printed out from the manual. They have a rubber like map and they even have a light map and also the lamps map, which is like your flashers. So I had 3 papers printed and I would go down the list, mark the light, mark the color and the bulb I needed. So it's quite a process. I would probably say between Earthshaker and RollerCoaster Tycoon, because I did them both at the same time, I had 2 6-foot tables out. I would probably say it took me a good 3 weeks. Call it a month. It took me a month to get these fully converted, torn down and such. So yeah, prepare yourself. You might need to order yourself some extra bulbs and stuff. Again, I'm the type where I put like the color LEDs to the specific part. I'll give you a B-roll of the playfield and such. You're gonna see like lock 1, the plastic underneath the word lock 1 is yellow. So I wanna put a yellow LED. Underneath multi-ball, it's orange. I wanna put an orange LED. I don't just put white, I put it to the colors. So yeah, if you are, researching, get ready for that. It's really something where once you have the machine in your hands, you could really calculate, figure stuff out. And like I said, out of all these videos, do yourself a favor, just take the hour and count each rubber and each LED to make sure you get what you ordered. Now, as far as rubbers, again, Titan rubber, beautiful stuff, great company. They have assortments of colors. So it's pretty cool. That's where you could get in and make this game yours. Again, I'm not a fan of just like the red or just everything white or everything yellow. I like to multicolor everything. Some people don't like that route. I personally am a fan of it. I like how it looks. So for example, like the flippers down here, it's a very blue area. So I did put light blue rubbers. Slingshots, it gets a little bit darker. So it's like faded blue and then it gets darker up the playfield. So I went with like a darker blue for the slingshots. And like I said, depending on what's going on in the area, I put the rubber to it. In the middle here where the Chicago loop is, I have a light blue rubber because the post here is connected to this light blue wire form. Again, some people don't like the way that looks. I'm personally a fan of it. I like to color code everything. This right here on the right side, the flipper here, beautiful top right flipper that if you nail it good, you'll hit the rocket. I did a red rubber here because the flame, it's red, yellow, and orange. And I already had an orange flipper for the scrambled egg. So I was like, let me make it red. Awesome, cool stuff. You can see up top in the ABC area, the entrance, I did red LEDs along with red and green rubbers. Because in that area, it's like a lot of red and a lot of green. So I wanted a multicolor. Why not? But yeah, doing the rubbers, it's fun. It makes it your own. Yes, if you see my sheets, I threw them out. But if you saw like the papers, I would put there like the size of the rubber and then like LB would be light blue. Or I would put O for orange and R for red. It was like, when it comes time to sitting down at the website and actually ordering it, that was tedious. If you do that, especially if you're doing it from Titan, do it on like the same computer. I did it on my phone. So I was like adding stuff as I went. But yeah, as far as the rubbers, all set. Unfortunately, like I said, I had that little mishap with Stern mistyping a size of a rubber for the smaller posts. But it's not detrimental. It's just, I was annoyed. Let's talk about Comet LEDs. So the LEDs here, like I mentioned on Royal Rumble, I'm a big fan of cool white. I hate the amber, that brown hue. I hate it. I can't stand it. So I'm a big fan of cool white. Most of these are all with anything visible. I did put like the frosted LED tips. This way it just does, it kind of disperses. Everything underneath the playfield though, I didn't do any frosted. Frosted, it kind of like, you know, what's the wording? It disperses, it spreads. Whereas underneath the playfield, it's like very like dead on the actual plastic or the wording. So I didn't want to go frosted. I just went like unfrosted, or it didn't even have like a dome to it. So yeah, same thing I said with color LEDs. As far as underneath the playfield and as far as flashers, whatever this plastic insert color is, I put that color LED to it. So I got white, I got yellow, I got orange going on. Every ride has red, yellow, and green, like, you know, a stoplight, which is pretty cool, just like in the game. So I have a red, yellow, and green LED. What was kind of annoying when it came for those stoplights, it's two different types of bulbs. So 2 rides have like a 444 bulb, and then 2 rides had like 555 bulbs. I'm like, why? Why did you do that, Stern? But, you know, unless the only way really is like once you start lifting up the playfield and actually physically going bulb by bulb, labeling correctly, yeah, you could avoid that confusion. Because you kind of see like, oh, red, yellow, green for this bulb is a 555 bulb. Okay, common sense that all the other ones would be the same. No, don't think that way. Whatever you do, don't think that way. As far as like flashers, on the left side here where the pops are, like the insert is red, so I have a red LED along with a red flasher. Scrambled eggs, I put like an orange amber where the scrambled eggs is lit. Again, you make it your own. In the rear, I put like a dark blue by the dunk tank dummy because it's kind of water. It's like a water splash effect. So I went with a darker blue than like, really there's no other blue here. But yeah, colored LEDs, awesome. As far as now, one thing that I regret from Comet Pinball, on my pop bumpers, you could see here, there's a red, white, and blue pop bumpers. I went the route of putting the slow flash. I wouldn't do that. Don't do that. I don't like it. It was a bad idea. I don't think it's the bulb. It's just maybe when, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I can't tell when the pops actually hit, then the light goes with it. I can't really tell you, but I regret getting those slow blink. I wouldn't get any blink for the pops in this specific situation. Royal Rumble, I did the flame, but they don't have, unfortunately, a white or a blue flame effect, so I couldn't do flames on that. That's my only regret. I wouldn't really do the slow blink for pop bumpers ever again. Final note for the LEDs, like I said, I'll do a lot of B-roll, but it's pretty cool. I do like in the rear, the panel here, this kind of carnival-esque lights where it's red, yellow, and white. Pretty cool. The standard ones, I think, was like this kind of like condom-looking thing that goes over a bulb. Or it was an actual like yellow halogen bulb. Pretty cool. Definitely happy with that, and definitely I'm grateful that I did frosted on that, because if I didn't put any cap on that, it would be very blinding. One very cool, and I'll shoot B-roll while I play, I do love the idea that I did the flying ghost, this flasher, I did put purple instead of white. It gives an awesome effect. So if you're going to do that for the flying ghost, because the actual insert here, it's like purplish white. It's purple and white blended. So I do have a purple flasher, so awesome stuff. That's what's great with Comet. You got a lot of different colors on LEDs. You have quite a variety of colors. So yeah, definitely. That is great. When it goes off, it's awesome. Flashers, when I do flashers normally up here, I don't do any diffusers. I don't mind getting flashed, like a flash bomb. I don't mind it. But when we talk about Earthshaker, that's got some blinding flashes on it, especially when you collect and you get the building. It's wild. But yeah, awesome stuff. Again, Comet LED, beautiful LEDs all around. You got it. You need it. I hate the amber. No amber. We need cool white. Everything cool. All right, so we talked about the teardown. We talked about the, you know, LED conversions and the rubbers. Awesome. Let's move on now to the back box. So I can't tell if you could tell here, but I'm pretty sure you could notice the drastic difference on this translight here. shockingly, I was very shocked. Again, you could see Royal Rumble, watch the video on that, even on Earthshaker. Those machines have like this white door that has bulbs. Stern, though, didn't go that route. Stern put this one long fluorescent tube. And I'm like, oh, it was very ugly. You could just tell that there was a very bright tube here. It kind of made a line. And then up and down below, it was just like faded. It looked awesome. It looked awful, I should say. But the conversion now, look at what I did here. This to me looks awesome. And it was a very simple mod. Yeah, you can see it's very bright. Yes. Cool white LED strip. Amazon. Easy. Simple. Look at that. So it's actually pretty cool. I saw somebody on Pinside. I would do this, but it would take time. Somebody on Pinside actually did like Royal Rumble and Earthshaker. They basically put a big white board and put LED strips on this white board. I like that idea, but I just kind of see it as a nightmare. It's probably a quick disconnect, so you could take the board out. I just couldn't figure out how he had it like held in place. He would have to make a door hinge. I don't know. All I know is that right here, I basically have everything still stock. So I do still have the actual fluorescent tube here. So I could always put that in, the connector I should say. But basically I tapped in and I made a female plug right here. I tapped into the actual, I don't know, fluorescent tube connector. So this is like what? I guess it's 120 volts coming in. And I bought a cool white LED strip from Amazon. And I used, yes, the entire like, I would probably say I used like 12 feet of the LEDs. Some people might not like it. I think it's great. I'm still able to access and pull boards off. So we'll go nice and slow. So I said, I put a female like regular plug here and I used the regular stock power supply that it came with. I could have went, there is like a, somewhere up here is like a black and red connection, possibly like 24 volts. I could have done some tapping in, but I didn't want to go that route. I was kind of just, I'm kind of simple. I'd rather tap in somewhere and honestly utilize the power of the actual fluorescent. I don't like touching stuff that I don't have to touch. So again, it's your standard like LED strip. That's it. You can see the start here. So I could technically just disconnect it right here. It's a pigtail. That's it. I can just plug the pigtail in. And as I did the you know, it's double-sided tape. I went up. So I went very close. Right here is like the piece of wood that the glass rests against. So I did one very close to the edge. And then as I came back here, I just did to the back facing forward. Right here was a little bit of difficulty going across these boards here, because you do have your big like wires here. Like there's just a loom of wire here. I was gonna go behind these wires, but you could see it in the translate. There's something missing, like what's blocking it. I didn't like it. So I basically went across, I went down, and I think it's awesome. I think it's great. It's a simple, no joke. I mean, because I build arcades, I have a couple of these handy kind of female and male plugs. But look at that, see? Right there, there you go. In and out. Boom, done. And again, luckily, yes, like I said, I have that LED strip right here, right up against it. It really disperses well. Right here, I would probably say like this coaster area, you could kind of see it kind of darken out. That's where like, oh, I saw somebody make that white board. I'm like, ooh, that was smart. But all in all, beautiful versus that ugly fluorescent tube. Now, somebody said that you could just get a cool white fluorescent tube. I'm like, no, it just doesn't disperse correctly. Unless like the tube had like LEDs that you could actually physically see going up, down, and straight. To me, it wasn't gonna look good. But yeah, that's my little LED hack for that translate. It's beautiful. It goes with everything now. It's awesome. Still talking about the Backbox, we're gonna move on to the beautiful. It's just the icing on the cake, just like Royal Rumble. My Pin 2 DMD color DMD. Awesome stuff. Again, Andrew over at Retro City. Beautiful. That was like, once I saw I was getting this, I placed an order for my Pin 2 DMD. Again, great alternative. As far as pricing, beautiful. I do like that it's an actual LED panel. There's actual individual LEDs. It's not an LCD screen. It's an actual DMD panel. And like I said, I was playing this. It was originally an orange DMD, and I knew off the bat, especially like, you know, seeing it on a V pin. I know there's a color ROM for it. I was like, I can't even fully enjoy RollerCoaster Tycoon unless I get my color DMD. So again, Pin 2 DMD over at Retro City. Awesome dude. Andrew's an awesome guy. We've been very friendly. I did mention on the video for this, it wasn't on sale like Royal Rumble. Sale meaning free shipping. That was the sale. That was all right though. $260 landed. You cannot complain about $260 for a colorized DMD. You cannot. But it's very cool. Andrew somehow saw that video for RollerCoaster Tycoon that I made, and he reached out to me. He goes, "Hey Vic, man, would you possibly make another tutorial?" Because I did a tutorial on how to install it. He said, "Would you be able to make another tutorial, but like kind of short, sweet, bang to the point?" Because I know that I talk a lot. And I said to him, I said, "Oh man, I could slice up the video I made." He said, "That'd be cool if you could do that. That's awesome." I said, "I would love to make another video, but unfortunately I sold the original DMD that came with this." I do have Royal Rumble's DMD for sale, but nobody wants it. I don't know why. But Stern's I put up on eBay and it sold within like a couple of days. So I can't really make another tutorial video, unfortunately. But again, a Pin 2 DMD, a color DMD, for a White Star Stern, it's a must. You got to do it. This is like the icing on the cake. I go crazy when like the multi-ball scene happens, and it just, you need it. You need it. It's my younger generation eyes, 34-year-old eyes, even older. Some people don't like color DMDs. I don't know how you don't. It like, it's like, look at that. Look at the RollerCoaster Tycoon logo. Awesome. All right, cool. So we spoke about the teardown, the stuff I did, color LEDs, my LED strip conversion, the Pin 2 DMD. Now let's talk about the actual game itself, a couple of issues I ran into. So like I mentioned before, when I first bought this home, I realized that I couldn't start any modes. And basically to start a mode on this, you have to go to this handyman target. The ball actually goes behind the handyman and you activate a mode. It's called fun. Like start fun. It's a fun mode. So I noticed I couldn't start a mode. And upon testing, I could see here it's an optical board here. Basically it's two boards. There's a transmitter board and a receiver board. I could physically see a red LED. I'm like, this can't be the issue. I could see the LED, but then I realized that there's two separate boards. Basically one of my boards was bad. It was either I believe it was the receiver board. And you know, it's kind of crazy. I can't do it now because of the ceiling height here, but if I went totally vertical, and if you saw the way this board is like mounted, it's very close to metal. And I'm pretty sure that possibly somebody may have touched the board and possibly touched metal and probably fried the board. I was like, why did Stern design it like this? It's such a tight, compact area. Now, the next part right here I'm gonna mention, it's okay. I'm not sponsored. I paid for all my boards, right? So I went online and I saw I needed a new optical board. And for the hell of it, I was able to see that the transmitter, because the LED is on, I'm able to see the transmitter is working. I only bought a receiver board, right? So here's a little story. I was looking up online, and obviously you could read the manual, you could get the part number. Awesome. I see a Stern optical receiver board on Marco Specialty. Marco Supply, Marco Specialty. And I think it was like a $50 board. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm gonna order it. They had it in stock. It was A-okay. I placed my order. I'm waiting anxiously. Now really I can't even, I never was able to play the game because I couldn't start a mode. So I'm like, you know, I'm flipping, but I can't start a mode. Pinball is mode based, so yes. So I get this board in, I put it in, and it works. Everything works, it's great. I'm good to go, I'm having fun. I turn off, I go to bed. The next morning, I turn my machine on, and same thing happened. I was not able to start a mode. So I'm like, oh crap. I'm like, here we go. Now it's like, is there a bigger issue besides this board? Now, again, big shout out to Dave Souza, awesome guy. He's mentioned a lot in Buffalo Pinball and all that. Dave was helping me a little bit as far as this actual Stern machine here. Going back and forth, you know, he was telling me like, oh, hey Vic, maybe you could multimeter a couple of the diodes and, you know, the tips and the tip 32s. Upon like further inspection from this board I got from Marco, I discovered and realized, because I had my old original board and I had the new one. Aside from realizing that the board color was a little bit different, meaning the original board was like a darker green versus what came in, I discovered that Marco gave me a board that wasn't even a Stern board. It wasn't like an actual Stern. Like the logo Stern was not on this board. Instead, it was labeled something else. I'll get the name before anything, but it was labeled like Phantom, let's say, or something like that. And I'm like, what is this? I'm like, I paid like 50 bucks assuming and understanding I was gonna get a Stern branded board, and they sent me like this off-branded thing. And I'm like, what? I messaged Marco, and you know, I basically got the impression of like, you know, send it back to us, but if we test it and we see like something is wrong, we're not gonna be able to issue like a full refund. And I'm like, I'm already pissed off because you didn't give me a Stern board. It wasn't Stern. So I said, whatever, like here, I'm gonna send it back. I paid for the shipping back, whatever. I then come to realize that Pinball Life has this board. Not only do they have the board, it's cheaper. And it's an actual Stern board. So I sent the board back to Marco and I bought Pinball Life's board. And it's still in the machine to date. It was an exact replacement, beautiful, no issues. And again, it had the Stern logo on it. Days go by, Marco said, and they basically gave me my money back. So I'm grateful for that. But I was kind of annoyed that I paid more and it wasn't a Stern board. It was like a third party. I understand if like Stern doesn't have the board anymore, if they can't, I get it, but it kind of pissed me off that it worked and then it didn't work. And then it's like, I didn't do anything. And you know, it's kind of like, oh, well, if you send it back to us and we see that you broke it or you burnt it out, that's like a me problem. I'm like, it's fine, you know, whatever. The next thing that came up, I had an issue all of a sudden with my trough area. Inside where the balls sit, there's like a trough optical. There's another optical on this, and I could see it. It's an actual red beam in the trough where the balls are. And it looks like I had a cold solder issue on one of these optical boards. Basically, if I moved the wire a little bit, the light would come on. The LED would come on and off. So I went and I actually resoldered it. And it worked for a day, and then it started to not function correctly. Basically, it wouldn't shoot a ball out. The real reason I discovered it, and it's actually a funny story with my brother playing it, that he got the GC on this machine. It's the reason, because of that optical board, is the reason why he got a GC on it. But basically, I went and I soldered this board. I noticed it wasn't like sticking. And basically, when I did a final swap, I realized the actual like, whatever you want to call it, the actual like solder pad on the actual board was totally like ripped off. It totally came off. So I learned my first time. I went right to Pinball Life and I bought both a receiver and a transmitter, and it was like 30 bucks for both boards. So yes. Now a quick story about my brother and how I discovered this. My brother was playing and I was actually working on Earthshaker, and my brother's playing and he's like blowing up the game. I'm like, whoa, like I'm just working, I hear the game. All of a sudden I hear the game go into a mode about like Park Tycoon or something like that. And he basically got into the final wizard mode. And I'm looking at the DMD and it's like going nuts. And I said to him, I was like, whoa, like what are you doing? He's blowing up the table. And he's all excited. And I knew something was wrong because of how quickly he got to that mode. He got to it within like 5 minutes, and then I realized the trough kept throwing out a ball like every 10 seconds. So essentially when he pressed start, he had like 4 balls on the playfield. So it's okay, he does still have the GC on it. I came close to beating it. I'm not gonna reset my scores, he'll have his name there, but I will aim to beat that GC. There it is, see, right there. 24. I had like 21. I think other than like the board issues, there was not really any issues at all with this machine. Like I said, when I got it from the woman said this machine plays and it works. So there wasn't any other issues other than that. I think I had an instance where like a row of like switches didn't work. I don't know if that was with Royal Rumble or with RollerCoaster, but I did like resolder one thing. Like I had to take out a tip 32 or whatever. It was a very small like diode thing, and I had to swap that out. So yes, like I mentioned with Royal Rumble, if you're planning to do this, grab yourself a multimeter, a desoldering iron, and a soldering iron. You may need it. You may want to learn a little bit. It's not like you have to be skilled at it, but it's kind of a good idea to learn all of that. But yeah, all in all, solid stuff. I'm enjoying RollerCoaster Tycoon. As far as a couple of little modifications now, I obviously did the addressable LED, so I'm gonna move you back a little bit to show you that off. And I did do the custom apron print. I think that's like, it's cool. I did it for Royal Rumble, and why not? I also did it for RollerCoaster Tycoon. Let's look at that real quick. Let's look at the apron cards, because I'm actually kind of proud of it. Now again, I played RollerCoaster Tycoon growing up. I wasn't a fan of the original apron card that it came with. Not to mention it had like the company that sold it to them. I forgot what it was. I think it's in the coin door. So I knew off the bat I needed apron cards. And if you look very carefully at the one I created, and yes, you could find it on Pinside, there is a custom apron card forum thread, and there's also the RollerCoaster Tycoon owners thread. I'm very proud of this. Again, same thing like I mentioned before with Walgreens, the Walgreens magnet. I took the instructions and I typed it out, number one, with like the RollerCoaster Tycoon font in-game in the menu, and it looks like the actual menu. Like it's got like the things at the top with like the zoom in and the save floppy disk and the, you know, the characters, like intensity of the ride. I'm very proud of that. It took me an hour or two to do it, but I was like, isn't that a great instruction card? It's got to look like the actual like card in the game. I'm very proud of that. I think it's awesome. Yes, if you do look very carefully, the card is actually a little bit bigger than the apron. So the top right is like coming over the apron. That's okay. I believe I wrote it in the post. Definitely if you do it like Royal Rumble, I did a 4x7. It's a 4x7 Walgreens magnet. This one here, I did 5x8. So lesson learned. Now on the right side, this game didn't come with like, you know, $1 equals one game, $3 equals two, $2 equals three games. So I just went and I found this kind of digital artist. Somebody made a like a RollerCoaster Tycoon thing, and then I wrote there modded by VicVP, and then in big it says there be a tycoon, because when you press start it says be a tycoon. So yeah, that's a little bit of the mods. Let's bring you back. Let's show off the addressable LEDs. So like I did for Royal Rumble, like I did for Toy Story, I even made a video on it. I did the poor man's LED mod. Everything is app controlled, which is awesome. So I could control it individually if I wanted to. So I could turn on RollerCoaster, as you could see. Addressable LEDs, again, it's a great like $20 mod. I did drill a hole right where the coin door is, right underneath. I did have to do some soldering. Basically, it's two strips going out, up, and then across the back box. You can kind of see the effect on the top. And right now it's just like on like a chase. So I could always change it up. I could always make it go like water flow. I could do a run, single color. It kind of looks like it's shooting across. You could even change the speed. If you don't like it going fast, you could kind of slow it down. Awesome. Again, poor man's addressable LEDs. My godfather has it. I had to do it for Toy Story, but unfortunately you have to get the collector's edition for you to enjoy that. But all in all, it's just great. It's addressable LEDs. You can't go wrong with it. All three of my machines have them. Great. I also did do the headphone jack mod. I mentioned that in Royal Rumble. I am looking to possibly mass produce this kind of mod. Basically, it's alligator clamps going to the speakers. It is stereo sound. So I have one alligator clamp that goes to the left channel, one alligator clamp that goes to the right channel, and then another clamp for the ground. And right underneath, it's just a female headphone jack. I drilled a hole, and I could conveniently just pop in and out. So if you do go back, you could see I did a live stream with RollerCoaster Tycoon. I grabbed the audio for that stream utilizing my little headphone jack mod. But yeah, all in all, there you go. Addressable LEDs, the headphone jack mod, and the custom aprons. Love it. All right, so we spoke about the teardown, the add-ons, the LED translate, the custom aprons. We spoke all that. Let's talk about the actual gameplay / my thoughts of the game itself. There's a couple things I'm also going to mention as far as this specific machine here. I did discover, apparently, this machine is one of the earlier developed, created tables. How do I know that? A couple of things on this specific game. The red wireform here on different pictures and other members' pictures of this, their red wireform has like this red loop in front. My game doesn't have that. So that's like one tip to show, like, I guess the date of the machine. So this is an earlier produced machine. They probably realized a couple of little things, like I realized, especially with that red wireform, that they needed to fix. So it's pretty cool to know that this is like an earlier developed machine. So aside from the red wireform here, apparently the rocket silver kick, that also is another indentation of showing that it is an earlier developed machine. Apparently, I believe this rocket, the newer renditions, they have like a gate that prevents the ball from going back down the scoop. I did have that issue, but I did now put a piece of rubber like I have in my Godfather ramp. That now alleviated that stress. So before, the ball would kick up and then would actually bounce and then go back down to the kicker. So yeah, I guess it's kind of cool to say that I have an earlier produced run of RollerCoaster Tycoon. Probably my one annoying thing that I do notice, but apparently it's just how the game is. The sound ROMs on this are like iffy. There's a couple of instances where you just hear like a loud beep. If you go watch my live stream, you could hear it. You hear like a loud beep after a certain mode ends, or if you drain the ball, it's like a beep. Apparently that's just how the game is. That's not like my speaker's issue. It's nothing like that. It's just, I don't know, some sound ROM chips. Maybe they have to just, somebody could update the sound file on it. But that's like my only little gripe, because it's like a part where it's just like beep. It's like loud. It's a loud beep. Now, real quick, one thing, because we're talking about the sound, one like very disappointing thing, especially if you have young kids like a 3-year-old where their minds are sponges, when you're in Dunk the Dummy mode or even Super Dunk, you know, it's funny because the dummy's mocking you. You know, he's like cracking jokes like, hit me, hey, hit me. The one annoying thing is that he does say, shut up. And, you know, my 3-year-old, she hears all the call outs and sometimes she'll repeat call outs. So there's going to be that one day where she's going to like be upstairs and she'll go like, shut up. And I'm like, and then she'll be like, the troll says that. Like, what's wrong? Like, oh, that's like the one thing. I'm like, why? Why does this game have the troll say shut up? Why? Somebody modify it. That's like my only, it sucks to hear, but it's like, if my kiddo's around, I try to avoid playing Dunk the Dummy. But like I mentioned before, 99% of the time you either start Dunk the Dummy or Dancing Digits. So yeah, shut up. Like, oh, why? This game gets a lot of hate. It's got nothing to do with like RollerCoaster Tycoon. There's never been a troll in RollerCoaster Tycoon. I get that. It's a game. Listen, it's a game. It's a themed. It's like the art theme is there, but as far as gameplay, the game isn't really there. But it's fun. I have it. My only like little issue, I wish like the modes kind of changed. So I usually tend to, my first thing is to start a mode. And most of the time it's either Dancing Digits or Dunk the Dummy. Like 99% of the time it's one of those two. But the mechs on it are cool. I do like the visual upkick to the roller coaster. I love that. That's like a great key thing about this game. The little troll bouncing up and down, like, that's cool. It's cute, it's cool. And I do like the actual scrambled egg spinner here. Very interesting mech. Now, yes, on stream, I did complete the wizard mode, which is, you know, basically Park Tycoon mode. I'm anxious though to see if I could do it again. Because when you do start Park Tycoon mode, it says here like you opened one park. So I assume as you play more, you open more parks. Listen, it's a very entertaining game. I do like it. It is a Pat Lola design game. I like the shots on it. It's pretty cool. I hate the info scoop shot, the info scoop, because if you don't pay attention, it will shoot down the middle. I even tried bending the scoop a little bit. Yeah, that's one of those where once it comes out and the flasher goes off, you better flip, or you do have a high chance of going straight down the middle. Again, to me, it's a pinball game. No, it doesn't really have much to do with RollerCoaster Tycoon. I'm actually looking into getting like some 3D printed stuff going. You You know, like they had on RollerCoaster Tycoon, there was a character, I believe the theme park was like Bones, Mr. Bones. It was a skeleton with a top hat. I'm looking for somebody to 3D print that. This area right here where the ball goes down the roller coaster, I would want to build something where the ball goes through like a house or something. That's where, like, if I really want to dabble into 3D printing, I would do that. Somebody did put like an actual rotating Ferris wheel in the rear. I'm like, damn, how did you do that, number one? I'm like, I can only imagine the wiring for it. The black boxes here that kind of block off the, it's like a diverter. I seen somebody put like a restroom style 3D print house there. So that's kind of cool. I guess like the possibilities for 3D printing on this is there. Listen, it's a fun game. My kiddo goes crazy for it. My brother gravitates towards this machine. He likes it. My overall experience right now, if space is getting limited and I have to get rid of a machine, RollerCoaster Tycoon would be one. I am looking for a Sopranos. I did though play Sopranos at my friend Dennis, the guy that had the Escalera. He had a Sopranos. I played one game on it, and I was actually able to get to, like, I think it was Underboss. And I was kind of surprised at myself. I was like, wow, I did pretty good to get to Underboss on like my first game. So I'm like, I do want a Sopranos, but now actually my my desire for a Sopranos has died down a little bit. It's actually funny right now, somebody is selling a Sopranos in my area for $5,000. It's the lowest I've ever seen a Sopranos go. So I don't know, maybe one day you'll see a Sopranos here, but it's the same, from my understanding, it's the same system. It's the same White Star. But like I said, I mentioned before, Royal Rumble in my eyes, that game is bolted. RollerCoaster Tycoon, it's great. I had a lot of fun with it. I'm having fun with it, but it would be one machine that would be able to go. I would miss it, but I wouldn't miss it that much where I would have to rebuy it. I don't know. Even now, like, you don't really see RollerCoaster Tycoons for sale. And if you do, they do go for cheap. I've seen several of them go for like $4,500 to $4,000. I would probably say this machine is worth maybe like $3,500 to $4K. If I was in the market and I was gonna buy one, or if I was gonna sell it, I would be selling it at that price point. Again though, I would only be selling if I was limited on space and I had another machine coming. For right now, this machine ain't moving. If I was gonna rank it right now, Royal Rumble, like I said, is bolted, so that's number one. RollerCoaster Tycoon number two, and then Earthshaker would be a nice number three. That one right now is for sale, but stay tuned for the Earthshaker video. Again, it's my first Stern. Again, optical boards are a thing on this specific game or in this specific game type, and I did have to swap both optical boards out. Luckily, it wasn't an expensive piece, but yeah, there you go. Just like look at this, again, like the side art, it's actually really cool. Like, I'll try to grab a picture from my security camera that I have down here, but it's like I sit at my desk and then you just see RollerCoaster Tycoon. Again, whoever had this before was in that indoor basketball court. Amazing. Like, the art on it, there's not a scuff on it at all. I was contemplating on changing out this black T-molding to like a color, but I didn't really want to go and, you know, colorize that, because then I would have to feel like it would have to translate to the side rails here. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna go down that rabbit hole. I was even maybe gonna put LEDs in the speakers, but there's no real need for it. There you guys have it, RollerCoaster Tycoon. My little journey as far as the teardown, my experience and such on this game. It's been a journey. All I know is that I have been a tycoon. I was able to complete that wizard mode, so I am a tycoon. Man, part 2 down. Stay tuned for Earthshaker. Be a tycoon, run it.
Be a tycoon!
I will.